Vinny, if you want to kick off, and then we'll use the hands up system, and we'll do something for the Mondays at the end if anybody wants anything. When
sure. Chris, we're so used to seeing you in games. I'm thinking of obviously Liverpool, Manchester City late on in the games. What was the difference tonight for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we were still in the game going up to 75 minutes. The game became a little bit more stretched. We had a little bit more possession, even though we turned the ball over far too cheaply yet again to world-class players that will keep it away from you or punish you. And we've got done on a block on a corner here. I don't think it's even a foul. I think it's a foul to us in the corner first and foremost that wasn't given. I think my team it's a right difficult situation for me. I think my team at times are hugely naive by maybe not being good at the dark arts of the game. That's a real predicament that I'm in at the moment as a manager and from my upbringing. But it just seems to me at times that's not decided the game because they were better than us and they've got world-class players that are playing at the top of the game and a team that's playing at the top of the game and a team that's having a bit of a struggle at the moment. But blocking the penalty area, and obviously he scores with an header and quick succession, a mistake by a young player really who's learning his trade in the Premier League on the job. You know, we missed Jack O'Connell. We've had to move Ender inside, which is a big disappointment because Ender was arguably one of our best standout players in that position last year. And obviously the chemistry in that position is not as good as what it should be. Max makes a mistake, which he'll get over because he's a good player and he's a strong character. And quickly we're in the game at 2-1 and we're out of it at 4-1. And obviously then for me. It's a decision. What do you do when your team's not on form and another team is? Do you go for it, open up, and it becomes 5, 6, and 7, which it can be, or do you just, do you try and stay compact and stay in the game and a little bit damage limitation? And I took that decision for that to happen.
You started so brightly, Chris, as well, and the goal was really impressive. So. After suffering a defeat like that, I mean, it's not going to ultimately decide your fate in the Premier League this season, but how do you pick the lads up to go again?
Well, they have to pick themselves up together. Individually, they have to shake themselves a little bit. It's been a real tough run. Arsenal, the top 5 out of top 6 teams, 4 out of top 5, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea, who I thought were outstanding, even though it wasn't one of our best performances. The players that they've got, what the job Frank's done in his second year, the job he did last year with a transfer embargo, but still had world-class players, and obviously the recruitment side of it in the summer. Max Lowe, no disrespect to a young player again that we got from Derby County, is up against an incredible player, and so is George Baldock and Basham up against Timo Werner and. Right the way through, they're bringing Jorginho on. I'm sure he must have won a World Cup along the way, and I know Giroud has as well. So these are the players that you're up against. So international breakers, even though we've got some players going away, we can clear our heads and all that team spirit that everybody talks about when teams are going well will be tested to the full. I've got a really good group of players. They're committed. They're honest. And as you rightly said, our season won't be decided by playing Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea. It'll be decided, or what we need to do is get a fold in the division in the next 10 games, and that's going to be the test.
Just finally from me, Chris, it was highlighted in commentary that maybe Aaron Ramsdale could be doing a little bit better for you at the moment. Does he just need a bit of a lift? He's still settling into a new club after all.
Yeah, I think he was at fault for the second goal, and we won't hide behind that. We had a young goalkeeper last year that made mistakes for us, and we've got another young goalkeeper here. That's the road that we went down, so we have to stay with it. I think he's made some. Did he mention the decent saves he made as well?
Yes, he did mention that as well.
That's good, as long as there's consistency with it, and not in front of him is not great at the moment. We're conceding some really, really poor goals, but he has to come through it as we all do, and he'll be okay. He's a positive character. and he's a very good young goalkeeper that's playing at the team at the moment. That's not doing as well as it should be, even though it's really bang up against it when, as I said, you're playing the teams that we have having to play in this little run over this little period.
So, man, thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Vinay. Thanks, pal.
Rob Staten.
Chris, what's it going to take to work through this to come back strongly after the international break?
Work through it. That's all, Rob. You can't do anything else. You know, you know, I believe in the players. Believe in a lot of things that we've done and through the experiences, and you've just got to dig in, get your head down. All the sort of, you know, the phrases that come out at this particular moment. There's no magic wand to it. We have to come through this period, and we will do, and we all have periods of this, not just in football but in life, where it's a little bit difficult, and it really just tests you. And as I said, it won't be decided against Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City and Chelsea. The next 10 games are big and huge. The players understand that. They worked extremely hard to get into this position, and they want to protect that, and we all do. But we'll work through the period. Obviously, 8 or 9 of the boys have gone away on international duty. We could do with them, you know, coming back healthy and fit. We'll work with the boys that we've got in the building, and we'll set and prepare now for the game against West Ham.
Thanks, Chris. All the best.
Cheers, Rob.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me?
Hi, Nate.
Hi, mate. I thought the first 20 minutes in particular, when we talked about the last couple of weeks about that nervousness around the edge of the area in the attacking third, I thought that first 20 minutes showed some really good signs there, the way you got in behind and got a couple of pullbacks, particularly for the way you worked the goal as well. Yeah,
it was a good start for us. You want to get a foothold in the game. Obviously, a couple of the games have been disappointing starts. You know, obviously the Wolves game was, so players have learned from that, and yeah, you know, you want to get the first goal, but the first goals and the second goal for them are disappointing ones from our point of view. You know, you can say you've been undone by world-class players for the first one, you know, the movement of the front players and the finish, but the second one's avoidable. The third one I'm not too happy about. I think, you know, not really seen an awful lot of it, but I'm told that maybe there was a foul on Max. The reaction of the players was quite telling, and there was a block in the penalty area, which I'm sure that it would have been seen on the flip side of that. And the fourth's a disappointing one by a young player that's, you know, learning on the job. Nathan, if I'm honest, you know, we brought him in to develop him, but he's having to play at the moment, which obviously, you know, he's gonna make the odd mistake as young players do, but ruthlessly punished as well in the Premier League.
Just want to ask about John Egan wearing the armband, even though Norwood played. Is he now vice captain?
No, I mean, you know, obviously Bill's the club skipper, but John's captaining the side at the moment. It's not a set in stone thing, but you know, for me, he's a leader. He's an influential player. I make that decision on what I think is right, personality wise, and whatever people do, and in and around the change room. But you know, that's not the reason that we're losing games of football. You know, everybody should be a leader out there. You know, we've got Ollie, who's played 50 times for his country. We've got David McGoldrick, who's played for his country, and Basham, who's been around the game a long time. So you know, there's you know, enough people there. You know, people have to take responsibility. You know, you can't just rely on a captain to drag you through these situations. And but John's a natural leader for me, and we'll captain the side.
The international break, Chris. We've spoken a lot in the recent ones about whether they're good or not. I know you've got 7 or 8 players away, but I wonder if this allows you just to maybe reset the clock now and everybody just have a little bit of a breather and gather everything.
Yeah, it does. Gather your thoughts, clear your heads and all that stuff. I mean, it doesn't allow us to work on any sort of shape work or any unit work because I've got Egan, Stevens, the goalkeeper away, Rian away, Sander away. Ethan Ampadu away, 7 or 8 of the boys away that, as you can imagine, are going to be, close to being selected for that West Ham game. So I think more from a mentality point of view, physically point of view, it's been tough over this last run of games. The Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea, 4 out of the top 6, 3 out of the top 3. In my opinion, Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea are the top 3 sides in the country. As shown today, Chelsea, top of the form, world-class players, Giroud coming off the bench, Jorginho coming off the bench. I think sometimes maybe people don't realise the competition that we're up against, really don't. That's something I can't really do anything about. We have to look after ourselves. So clear your heads and gather your thoughts, and we all have a big deep breath and go again, because the next 10 games are big.
And just final one from me, Chris. It's just on Oliver Burke. He's not featured much since he returned home early, injured from international break. Is he just a touch under, or is it just tactical at the minute? Yeah,
it's tactical. Ollie Mack would have played today, but it was yet again, unfortunate that he had a bout of tonsillitis that kept him away from the football club for 4 days. There wasn't much grass in behind Chelsea's back four when they go 2-1 up. They sit a little bit deeper. So the pace is not really needed. Something else is really needed to try and get back into the game. And Ollie's, I think he's done. Even though I should imagine there's a lot of opinion about a lot of us at the moment. In my opinion, I think Ollie's did well against Liverpool and did well against Man City. They're obviously, in terms of the way the team's playing, we're not going to dominate possession even if we were playing out of our skin. So the service that the boys at the top of the pitch are getting at the moment is not great. The control that we have is not great because we keep turning the ball over really cheaply. Ollie's got a part to play for certain games, and it was like that last year with Mousset, with Didsey, with the skipper, and with Ollie Mack, and it'll be that way, right the way through, unless somebody finds a big period of goal stroke form.
Thanks ever so much, Chris. All the best.
Cheers, Nate.